Well, hello again to all the boys and girls out there in YouTube land watching. Georgia Beer Reviews back at you today with another one. And I started a review earlier and I got a phone call, so I had to end it. So this is take two. This beer is the Margarita beer. It's just called Margarita. It's a blood orange goza from Trimtab Brewing Company out of Birmingham, Alabama. Now, I've actually been to the brewery up in Alabama, in Birmingham, and it was a nice little setup. Very small operation, though. Maybe they've expanded since I've been a couple years ago. But I was really kind of surprised to see any Trim Tab beers in my area just because of where I am in Georgia. I didn't really think their distribution would be that great, as small of a operation as they have, but the beers are here, and there were a few that I could get when I lived in Columbus, Georgia as well. So their distribution is definitely good in Alabama and Georgia. So it poured with a very small head, which dissipated quickly. The appearance is very hazy orange. It almost looks like juice. Very hazy orange color. There are some streaming bubbles going up the glass, but like I said, the head has died down and there's no lacing or anything like that on the glass. So the aroma, you're definitely getting those tart notes on the aroma. I'm getting a little bit of the blood orange, a little bit of wheat. Yeah, definitely some wheat on the nose. I'm not getting any of the lime or coriander. Tangerine, maybe. I'm getting the orange thing, the blood orange thing. Blood orange and tangerine, I don't know if I would even be able to tell the difference, honestly. Both very, I mean, it's a citrus aroma. It smells very good. Bready and tart and citrusy. So without further ado, let's get into this brew. Cheers, guys. All right, you're getting um, you're getting a nice tartness, not full on sour, obviously, but a nice tartness, a little bit of saltiness on the palate from the pink salt that they add. Still not getting any coriander, any lime. There is a noticeable wheat bread note in the middle of the sip that you typically get with gozas because they're wheat beers and they're very bready for the most part. Um, the finish is semi-dry. Carbonation is actually medium. It's almost high with this. Even though the head died down quickly, it's got that very fine, prickly carbonation that after a few sips, I mean, you're going to be burping a little bit. Yeah, very, very fine, prickly carbonation. Um, so the finish, not really that dry. It is refreshing. It's almost like drinking juice in a sense because it's more of a wet finish and not necessarily a very beer-like finish, but it is beer-like in the taste profile with the wheat bread notes in the middle of the sip. It's definitely got the goza thing going on. A little bit of the blood, excuse me, the blood orange coming through on the palate. I would have liked there to be a little bit more actually of the blood orange because I do like blood oranges, and there's just really not enough there to differentiate it from a standard goza. This is good, but there are so many other gozas out there that look a lot better in the glass with the head and the appearance. Actually looks more beer-like. And there's a lot of other gozas out there that have a dry, more crisp and refreshing finish. This is not a bad beer by any means. It's definitely got some nice flavor notes that you get with a good goza. However, it doesn't have enough blood orange flavor. I'm not getting any of the tangerine or the coriander or the lime. The finish is a little sloppy, a little wet, not necessarily super beer-like on the finish. So it's definitely not my favorite goza. Trimtab does make some great beers. Like I said, I've been to the brewery. I've had a lot of their stuff on draft, some excellent beers. They make a stout called Breakfast Hero. It's one of my, I mean, it's an incredible imperial stout. They make a lot of other really good beers that I've had. So this one, not one of my favorites, but it's not a bad beer. If you're into gozes, if you like the sours, the tart qualities that you get from this style, and if you like full-on sours, then you'd probably like this to a certain extent because it does have that sour, well, not really sour, more of a tart component. And if you like citrus flavors, blood oranges, you'll probably like this as well. It's just not enough for me to really differentiate it from standard gozes. Like I said, I would have liked a little bit more of that blood orange character coming through on the palate. Anyway, with all that being said, I'm going to go with an 81 out of 100. It's a B minus for me. It is good, but I've had so many great gozes and sours over the last few years that this one just really doesn't stack up to those. But if you live near Trimtab Brewery, or if you live in Alabama, Georgia, anywhere where Trimtab beers are sold and you can find this one, you might want to check it out. It's a good beer, but for $12.99 for the 6-pack, you could do a lot better. So anyway, that'll do it for this beer review, guys. Hope you're all having a great day, and until next time, everybody, cheers.